The opinions and suggestions expressed on the following program are solely those of the participants and are not necessarily endorsed by KRMG, Cox Media Group Incorporated, or the program sponsors. This following program is sponsored by Causeway, LLC. Information in this broadcast is not intended as an investment, tax, or financial advice. Matthew Moore is not a licensed investment advisor and speaks solely from his experience and opinions. All information in this broadcast is for entertainment or educational purposes only. Matthew Moore, Causeway, LLC, and Cox Media Group Tulsa are not responsible for the success or failure of any person's investment decisions or purchases. Matthew Moore, Causeway, LLC, and Cox Media Group Tulsa makes no and expressly disclaims all representations, warranties, and guarantees with respect to this broadcast and its sponsors. Investing in any market is inherently risky and can be financially dangerous. Invest at your own risk. Gather knowledge in the world of cryptocurrency right now on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's news and talk. Welcome to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. Matthew is locally based right here in Tulsa. Questions, comments, concerns? Call 918-460-5764 or send us an open mic using the KRMG app. Now, here's Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore.
My name's Russell Mills. Welcome to one of the only radio shows dedicated 100% to the fascinating topic of cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. Whether you're crypto curious or you're a hardened veteran of the orange pill, you've come to the right place to learn and explore this world along with this guy and our host, Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Hey. Yes, here we are again. It's Sunday, fun day, and you know what that means. Another day to explore the wonderful world of BTC, also known as Bitcoin. And yes, the market might be down and the economy, well, it might be struggling, but fear not, my friends. These are the days of opportunity. An opportunity not just to buy the world's greatest digital asset at a discount, but also to learn how to take extreme, and I mean extreme ownership over your life and wealth. And that's why we'll be bringing on a guest from a very prominent company in the wonderful world of Bitcoin. And you may have heard of this company. This is a company called Unchained Capital, a financial service company that is Bitcoin focused and Bitcoin native, and they're out of Austin, Texas, I believe. And to help us once again unpack these dynamic conversations is none other than my co-host Eric Cooper, who sadly could not be in studio with us, but he is coming remotely. So Eric, welcome, buddy. Welcome back to another episode.
Hey, definitely, Matt. And obviously, I'm at Casa de Cooper today, and I'm excited to be here again on a Sunday because you know what? It's a topic that I think that we can never hit hard enough, and that's the self-custody.
Right. Lots to that.
Well, I want to remind our listeners that we're starting another round of free Bitcoin giveaway. It's an easy way to win $200 in free Bitcoin. So we want you to stick around because in segment 2, we're going to be sure to give you all those fun, fantastic details. But today, I want to go ahead and bring a guest, and he's kind of the creme de la creme. And this is Tyler Campbell. He is a VP of Concierge at Unchained Capital, who educates individuals and businesses daily on how to secure their Bitcoin wealth with Multi-Sig wallets. Tyler, again, thank you for joining us here today. Please introduce yourself in your own words and tell us a little bit more in length about what you do at Unchained Capital.
Hey, thank you guys. And just as a quick check, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, you sound great.
Loud and clear.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you for having me on. This is going to be awesome. I love talking extreme ownership of Bitcoin wealth. So my name is Tyler Campbell. I am a VP of our concierge service at Unchained, more specifically on the technical bent. So do help clients with not just setting up their multi-signature vault, which we'll talk more about that, I'm sure, but then also tackle maybe some deeper technical questions. If they have questions about the hardware wallets in play, how to move Bitcoin, how to receive Bitcoin, and really cover all of that with them as well.
Well, as a company, at large, you guys have really made a big splash in this space. And, I wanted to ask you particularly, and if you don't want to disclose it, that's fine. But, some people don't like to reveal their secret sauce. But what do you contribute to this awesome notoriety that's taken place?
It's at the end of the day, I think it's really education in an area where there is no central entity to define vocabulary terms and how to do things. We on the concierge team, specifically in the Unchained team more broadly, are really out there to educate. We want to talk about holding keys. What does that mean? And then even educate past, Unchained specific products, but just educate about Bitcoin more broadly. What is a Bitcoin UTXO? what is a Bitcoin key? What is a Bitcoin address? Why do some look different than others? So really, I think, the success and then kind of our continued success since the founding of the company has really been built on that bedrock of Bitcoin focused vision, Bitcoin native financial services, but then also education. And I think the concierge team specifically, myself included, over the course of the past, I would say about 14, 15 months, alongside my team members, has really been about educating folks.
So now we've pounded the message of personal self-custody nonstop on our show. Unchained Capital, your company focuses on getting businesses and individuals to do exactly that. Can you explain a little bit about how your process works? And can you share also with people just what a multi-sig wallet means?
Absolutely. Yeah. And really the way that I frame it with our clients is we build digital treasure chests is what you can think of it as. And in that treasure chest scenario, we design a solution using Bitcoin's native properties. So multi-sig is not, proprietary to Unchained. We're just using Bitcoin's native security properties. We're building a digital treasure chest for your Bitcoin that has 3 keyholes in it. And in order to open up that treasure chest, you need 2 out of a set of 3 keys. Now that those 2 keys could be the 2 that you control, or it could be one that you control along with the one that we control. So in our setup, it's called collaborative custody. We hold 1 key and our clients hold 2 keys to their Bitcoin wealth. So it is still extreme ownership, full self-custody. We are there as a collaborative custody partner if needed. And, really getting down to brass tacks, it is the best way to, take advantage of that extreme ownership, that bearer instrument native property of Bitcoin, where you can actually hold your own keys. All Bitcoin everywhere is controlled by keys. It's just whether, an exchange like a Coinbase or a Kraken holds the keys, or if you as a sovereign individual hold the keys. And we're here to help you do just that.
So you guys work with individuals, businesses, and they're here's my question: when you're interacting with, let's say, a business, are they actively operating a Bitcoin point of sale system? So they kind of need this, or are they just looking to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet? Or is it maybe it's a little bit of both?
I'd say, it's a little bit of both, more so maybe the latter of just holding on their balance sheet. I think maybe that has potential to skew towards, as, Bitcoin adoption grows, there's going to be companies that, of course, accept Bitcoin for goods and services. They want to secure that Bitcoin in an ironclad way and in a sovereign, secure way. So maybe we'll see more of that. But really, I think, spearheaded maybe by Michael Saylor a couple of years ago, companies who have balance sheets, and they have cash sitting there, and they don't want their proverbial ice cube to melt. They can harden their money, harden the balance that's sitting on their books, and move it into Bitcoin. So we do see a little mixture of both, but more so it's just folks really trying to secure and upgrade their money.
All right. Well, okay. We got about 3 minutes before we got to go to break here. But one thing that you hear often from some, original gangsters, some OG Bitcoin advocates, is that you hear that you're not entirely sovereign over your wealth unless you run, quote unquote, a full Bitcoin node instead of just a hardware wallet where you've got the private keys, whether that just be, the regular method or multi-sig. What are your thoughts on this? And can you briefly explain the difference to our audience?
Yeah, of course. And really, and I'll be brief. I know we got commercial break coming up, but it's a crawl, walk, run approach with this stuff. Of course, when you think about running a Bitcoin node, a full Bitcoin node, that's like a lot of information packed into 3 words, right? Full Bitcoin node. So, if you take that first step of holding the keys to your Bitcoin wealth and you set up yourself in a position to be sovereign in that respect, I do think that there's then room to learn and grow to ultimately graduate up to maybe running a Bitcoin node and truly understanding what that adds to the equation. But if you have the keys to your own Bitcoin and you are generating addresses in your multi-sig setup or on your hardware wallet, if you're just using one private key to control your Bitcoin, if you're generating Bitcoin addresses and you are taking extreme ownership over the Bitcoin that's sent to those addresses, to me that is a solid first step. Anything past that is gravy, and of course, you want to be a first-class Bitcoin citizen. you do want to run your own node. But with that comes a lot of learning. You don't just want to run your own node just for the sake of being able to tweet that you're running your own node. So there's a lot that underpins that. So I will say for anybody listening, don't get too intimidated by the thought of running your own node. There's a bunch of resources out there on Twitter and YouTube and open source articles. But start by taking that ownership over your wealth.
Yeah. Well, gosh, multi-sig, UTXOs, XPubs, there's all these terms and things that we could dive into and talk about, but we are getting ready to go to break here. And I just want to we'll tell you guys, when we come back, we've got a lot more to discuss with our guest, Tyler Campbell. And in segment 2, we'll tell you how you can once again qualify to win that $200 in Bitcoin.
That $200 in Bitcoin could be worth a lot more than $200 here in the near future. You might want to listen up for that. So we'll be talking about that when we come back. Quick time out. You're listening to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore on 1023 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. I'm Russell Mills. Do appreciate you hanging out with us on a Sunday evening. Boy, muggy day out there today. It was hot in T-Town. You know what else is hot right now? All this talk about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies and all that kind of stuff. And you have found the show where we break it all down for you, make it understandable, small chunks. Here's the guy who puts it all together for us, Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Hey, man, that's right. This show is hot, new, and cutting edge. And yes, we are trendsetters in this space when it comes to FM radio, AM radio. We're all over the place. But to help share with our listeners on where they can find past episodes is none other than my wonderful co-host, Eric Cooper.
Yes, sir, Matt. And then once again, if you have never tuned in and maybe shared your Sunday evening with us, you can go back and check us out on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, or you can even go to KRMG, go to the on-demand section, and you can find all of our past episodes. This is episode 59, so if you want to get caught up, maybe tuck yourself into your room for about a fortnight, and you can get all caught up.
That's right. Yes. And if you were wondering, man, how are they able to do this program? I mean, how do they keep it on the air? Are there people just kind of helping them get this thing along? Well, absolutely. We got some wonderful sponsors, some epic sponsors, or I should say sponsor, and they keep us going. They help us spread this mass adoption to a whole new audience because we are throwing a large net. So, Eric, my buddy, can you give our wonderful sponsor a shout out, and we'll kind of dive into that whole how to get that free Bitcoin.
Absolutely, Matt. Our segment is brought to you by a company called Hedge. Do you have a strategy to obtain cryptocurrency on a regular basis? Do you plan on automating your dollar cost averaging? What about getting all or maybe even part of your your paycheck in Bitcoin? Hedge is revolutionizing how you get paid. Hedge makes it easy to automatically convert your pay into crypto. Whether you're an employer or an employee, you can get started in 4 easy steps. Start getting paid in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even Litecoin. Crypto is a long-term play. We encourage you to start a strategy today. Hedge is here to make it easy to stack those sats month after month. So what are you waiting for? Start living life on the Hedge. Check them out at gethedge.io. Once again, Matt, gethedge.io. And if you want to get your own hedge, you might be able to win some Bitcoin.
Yeah, pull out that phone, that piece of paper and pen, however you take notes, because here's how you can qualify for this next round. We've been giving it away like hotcakes. If you go to my website, mattjmoore.com, and scroll down to the resource section, you'll see a button that says Get Hedge. Again, that's mattjmoore.com. Go ahead and click that button on the website and start having, like Eric was saying, a portion of your paycheck allocated into Bitcoin, and it can be, as little or as much as you want. It's really up to you. And I just want to remind people that in order to qualify, you can't just sign up. You actually have to start using it. So it's a 2-step process. Sign up and start using it. Keep in mind that, when you use Hedge, and this is the cool part, you actually skip the entire exchange experience altogether. And you can have your cryptocurrency sent to any self-custody wallet that you control. And once you sign up and start using Hedge, they're going to give me a list of emails of people who use my referral link. And after the 19th of September, I will draw a winner and send them the $200 worth of Bitcoin. So it's really that easy. Just go to my website, mattjmoore.com, scroll down to the resource section, like I said, and click that button that says Get Hedge. So, and if you have questions, hey, listen, you can always send me messages on my website. There's a form to do that. I say let's bring back our guest today. And I apologize, Tyler. I think I mispronounced your last name. It's actually Tyler Campbell. Campbell, right? Like the soup?
Like the soup is what I tell people. I don't really,
P is
either
silent.
or for me. My grandfather would say the P is silent. So,
Well, if you guys are just joining us, Tyler Campbell is the VP of Concierge at Unchained Capital, and he educates individuals and businesses daily on how to secure their Bitcoin wealth with multi-sig wallets. So, Tyler, let's jump back into this fun question. Bitcoin may not be entirely anonymous and may be more traceable than cash, but where Bitcoin shines is the best is that its limited nature and unconfiscatable nature. It allows for extreme ownership in the digital age. Can you describe what this extreme ownership means to you and what it means for the future of society?
right. I think could maybe even be summarized in as few words as make savings great again, right? It's Bitcoin.
Nice.
There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, right? So if you own one Bitcoin, which is a lot of money in US dollar terms, if you own one Bitcoin, you own one Bitcoin out of 21 million that will ever exist. And when you frame it like that, why wouldn't you want extreme ownership? Why would you want your portion of 21 million that will ever exist out on sitting on another platform where you don't hold the keys? You could be subject to counterparty risk where the exchange goes down, there's withdrawal delays, you're subject to possibly a malicious employee in exchange getting access to the funds. There's all of these risk factors in play, and when you take extreme ownership, when you are able to, using public key private key cryptography, which on the surface scares a lot of people, sounds really, really complex, but we've distilled it down to a few easy steps. And if you're able to do that for your portion of 21 million, it's a no-brainer. Why not? For the future of society, I do think it means a return to actually saving and actually getting putting your work out into the world and saving the value that comes from that.
Again, this time flies by, and we got about 3 minutes left. But, recently a lot of people have felt this pain from the bear market, catastrophic failures in exchanges, crypto lending platforms. But how is Unchained Capital different, and how do you alleviate that counterparty risk for your services?
Absolutely, yeah, and then maybe we can touch on lending a bit later on, but it's at that foundation of multi-sig security. You hold as a client, you hold two keys, we hold one key. We can never, ever, under any circumstances, unilaterally move your funds. You are always in complete control of your multi-sig vault Bitcoin. So, at the end of the day, even if Unchained were to go down, even if our website were to just crash or we go out of business, because you're using Bitcoin's native properties, you could go rebuild your multi-sig wallet in another Bitcoin wallet software. You don't even need Unchained.com. And that is kind of crazy. That's, you talk about living in a sci-fi world, but that's what we do at Unchained. We educate our clients on how they can do that should that doomsday scenario occur. So really it's this paradox that I talk about all the time. The more that we can allow for our clients to trust us less, in turn, that builds more trust. In short, that's alleviating counterparty risk from my vantage point.
Right. Well, a company that's doing it the right way, and I would encourage you. Where could people check out Unchained Capital? Well, we'll talk about it again, but just real quick.
Absolutely. Head over to unchained.com, blog.unchained.com as well for some awesome written blog content. Unchained.com.
Yeah, that's right. And we got plenty of resources on my website as well. So, hey, if this is new to you and you want to wrap your head around this, maybe listen to past episodes, ask me a question, set up a consultation, I would be more than happy to meet with you. Just go to mattjmoore.com and, hey, we can have a conversation. So just send me a message. But when we come back, we're going to have some more fantastic content with our wonderful guest today. So stay put.
All right, and that website again is mattjmoore.com. More with two O's, like in, that guy's got some stuff to tell me. And we'll be right back after the news, and he'll tell you more of that stuff, I promise. Thank you very much for joining us for Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We are live and local in the big city of Tulsa, Oklahoma on a Sunday evening. Stick with us. We got a lot more to discuss. Like, for example, what is a VP of concierge? I want to know. We'll see if we can get Taylor to explain to us what he does. More of the show right after the news on 102.3 KRMG. Welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. You have found one of the only radio shows in the world dedicated entirely to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and all things blockchain. So thanks for tuning in. We are live and local in the big city of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Our guest today, Tyler Campbell with Unchained Capital, a well-known player in the space. And the conversation's been really interesting, so I'm going to shut up and we'll get back to it. Here is your host, Matthew J. Moore.
Hey, that's right. You know, some people would call us fanboys, fanatics, Bitcoin believers, whatever you want to call us. This show, we're here to educate. We're here to help explain things and make it not seem so scary. Yeah, it's a lot to digest, but we always have my wonderful co-host, Eric Cooper, who just adds so much value to my life and this show. Eric, welcome back to another segment, my friend.
Oh, Matthew, I always appreciate it. And I'm really excited today because Unchained Capital is actually, when we first went to Miami 2 years ago, was one of the first companies that I actually got to sit down and listen to. And so always been really, really, really impressed with what you guys are doing there, Tyler. But I had a question that I wanted to kind of fit in this segment too. But in your experience, you've onboarded hundreds of people into Bitcoin with your services at Unchained Capital. Have you ever heard any horror stories that really stick out? Maybe a situation where you would wish that they maybe reached out to you first to prevent stuff instead of just kind of winging it?
Yeah, it's really, really doing some due diligence for yourself as you would with any investment opportunity, really looking into the platforms, the exchanges that you're using when you're buying Bitcoin. As we've seen, over the course of the past couple months, some folks are maybe not in the best position right now with the inability to withdraw their funds. And so, of course, hindsight's always 2020. Would love to have gone back and really harped on the not your keys, not your coins message of self-custody. But outside of that, really just when you take ownership over your Bitcoin wealth and you set up private keys, a way to do that is by generating a seed phrase for yourself. It's a set of 12 or 24 words that your hardware wallet will generate for you, and writing down that seed phrase and keeping it physically secure is the absolute best thing you can do. So you never want to take a picture of those words or enter them in online anywhere, or put them in the notes app on your phone. Physical security of those seed phrase words, that is of utmost importance. So for listeners out there, if you're thinking about setting up a hardware wallet, diving into Multi-Sig, checking out Unchained, when you do take ownership over your Bitcoin, there is an element of physical security. Some folks even stamp their seed words into steel. So yeah, just want to throw that out there as well.
I love it. And here's a topic I wanted to bring up. Okay, we all have heard this saying before. Okay, right? There's two certain things in life: death and taxes. Right? Well, maybe not, because you can lend against your Bitcoin to prevent those capital gains tax. It's totally legal. It's a way to offset, or still hold your Bitcoin, because obviously that should be the goal. Is you don't really want to liquidate your Bitcoin over, a short period of time. You want to hold on to it for a long period of time. And I've used services like Nexo. I've done the whole lending thing, and you guys specifically at Unchained, you guys offer lending services as well, where people can, take the cash value of their Bitcoin without actually selling it, creating a capital gains event there. But what is your advantage? What's the advantage of using Unchained Capital?
Yeah, and really the advantage there is built at that foundational core of multi-sig security. We are not rehypothecating funds, meaning when our clients take out a loan and they give us, Bitcoin as collateral, their collateral is actually sitting on a multi-sig Bitcoin address where they hold one of the keys. So they can always verify on the blockchain by looking at that collateral address that we are not taking their funds and in turn lending it out and trying to earn a yield on it ourselves. We really stay true to the ethos of self-custody. So, when Bitcoin is also in loan collateral. The legal title to the Bitcoin remains with our client. So they might not have full control because they don't have a majority of the keys. They just have one key, but the loan collateral cannot be forfeited to an authority without due process under U.S. laws. So it is Bitcoin lending, taking advantage of not having to incur capital gains tax, getting that dollar liquidity you need, but still in a manner that is verifiable, no rehypothecation. And really, that's really what we, again, pride ourselves on, is that foundation of multi-sig.
Well, lesson learned. So next time I want to get a loan, I'm going to go to Unchained Capital. But what's your loan to value ratio, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, our LTV right now is about 40%. So that translates to a 250% collateral to principal ratio. So 40% is what we're working with currently.
Okay.
And then now, helping people with their Bitcoin ownership is not the only thing that you guys actually do. I hear a rumor that Unchained is doing a little trading desk. Can you speak on that and give us a little bit of a skinny?
I absolutely can. Yes, that was announced. Kind of broader announcement took place over the past weekend. There was the BitBlock Boom Bitcoin conference here in Austin, Texas. Took place yesterday. Where our chief product officer went into more detail on stage. We now have our trading desk available to 29 states. You can buy Bitcoin directly within the platform and have it sent to your multi-sig vault, right into self-custody where you control the keys. So, no more going and buying Bitcoin on an exchange, waiting for a withdrawal period, then going through the cold storage sweats, as we've all had them, right? You then send Bitcoin from your exchange to your own addresses, and it can be a process that if you haven't done it a lot, it's a little intimidating, but we try to ease that, and we're able to do that now for 29 states. More to be added. Right now it's about 210 million Americans are going to have access to this across the 29 states we now support for our trading desk. So it's a pretty exciting thing.
Well, before I have Eric go on to question number 12, I actually have a little curveball here, and trust me, it's not a big one here, but we often hear about these little battles and wars within Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But one thing that's kind of brewing is we got Miami, we got Austin, we got all these other cities. You guys are in Austin. Is Austin more Bitcoin than Miami?
Austin is more Bitcoin than Miami. I will say that.
Whoa.
We're all on the same. We're all on the same team. But at the end of the day, I do think there's a lot of developer engineering signal here in Austin. We host the BitDevs monthly BitDevs meetup, Austin BitDevs at the Bitcoin Commons location, which is right near the Unchained offices, smack dab in the middle of downtown Austin. So there's Bitcoin hubs though popping up. Nashville, San Diego has a good Bitcoin scene, Miami. So I'm a big fan of it all. But if Unchained and Parker Lewis has anything to say about it, it's Austin for sure.
Well, Tyler, let me ask you this. Okay, so what's Austin gonna do to win the Bitcoin conference to Austin over Miami? I mean, because they do have a beach. So like, what's the secret sauce there?
I think the secret sauce is literally sauce. I think it's barbecue sauce.
There you go.
I think we get everybody some good Texas brisket, and we let that speak for itself.
I'll tell you, Austin's one of my favorite cities in the country. It is like somebody took a piece of Haight-Ashbury from the 70s and dropped it in Texas. It's just a strange place. Is there a slogan there still, keep Austin weird?
It is, yes.
My favorite city slogan in the entire country. You go,
Absolutely.
Austin. So there you go. There's my
Definitely. And now something that many of our listeners might be interested in is the Unchained IRA. Do you have a little bit? How popular is that of a product or service for you guys?
No, it's an incredibly popular product. And really, you think about holding your money in a tax advantage status in an IRA. Bitcoin's the best money in the world. It's the best asset in the world, in my opinion. It's something that, depending on your age and tax circumstance, it's something you want to, of course, think critically about your retirement. But to me, holding Bitcoin in an IRA is a no-brainer. The process that we have at Unchained is incredibly simple. We're trying to make it as seamless as possible. Ripping funds out of the legacy system does take some time on the legacy systems end, but we're trying to streamline it. You open up an IRA account with us, you sign our agreement, which opens up the legal structure for you at our partner Solera National Bank. You create a multi-sig vault. initiate your IRA transfer, your 401k rollover, funds settle, we trade for the Bitcoin, send it right to your vault in that tax advantage status. It's pretty awesome. I got to say, it is a no-brainer. As I've talked to both clients, friends, family members, to me, it's something that there's nothing like it on the market, and it's something that I really, really want to harp more on. Even to folks who might not be dipping their toes into Bitcoin quite yet, from a retirement perspective, a partial rollover, why not?
Well, one area where you guys really shine is your support and customer service. When you onboard people, do you often have clients who have little to no knowledge, or have most of them done their homework?
That's an excellent question. We're on the front lines talking to folks every day, and that's one thing that I wish a whole lot more people would I think appreciate about setting up Bitcoin keys and using Unchained, of course, is you don't have to be a software engineer. Week in and week out, my team and I, we work with school teachers, firemen, you could be a real estate agent, doctors. It's folks who really want to take extreme ownership over their wealth, and we guide them along the way. And at the end of the day, you don't need to be a tech expert. It does help if you do your homework. We can chop it up about Bitcoin a little bit, but otherwise we're there to walk you through every step of the way.
I love it. Well, you are basically, would you classify yourself as almost like an account executive to some extent? is that a concierge? Is that how you describe it?
So we do have a client solutions side of the house. That's where more relationship building, account management happens. We are more on the concierge team. We are more the implementation engine. So we take the folks who come to us, who talk to our client solutions team. They're interested in Unchained. Then they get passed over to us. We give them the royal treatment, help them set up their hardware wallets, secure their Bitcoin, answer any technical questions, and of course, we're there to put out any fires as well along the way.
I love it. Well, we got to go to break here shortly, but I just want to remind everybody, please go to my website, mattjmoore.com. We have tons of resources. In fact, I was actually going to ask, Tyler, do you guys have an affiliate or referral program?
We do not as of yet, although I know it's something that a lot of folks, a lot of clients have been asking about. So maybe stay tuned for something along those lines in the near future, but we do not at the moment.
Okay, well, I would love to get involved in something like that.
You are listening to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We are on the cutting edge, and thanks for riding along with us. Stick around. We're not done just yet. More conversation with Tyler Campbell from Unchained Capital straight ahead on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. I'm Russell Mills. Do appreciate you hanging out with us. We're a little short on time. We got about 10 minutes here, so we're going to get right back to our fascinating conversation with Tyler Campbell, VP of Concierge at Unchained Capital, talking about all things protecting your wallet. Yeah, if somebody else has got the keys, they've got the coins. No keys, no coins, right?
That's right. Got
that from Matthew J. Moore personally.
Yeah. In a bear market, sometimes it feels like I'm just a hobbyist trying to make this into a career, but we all have these peaks and valleys, especially in the bull and bear markets, and we're here to calm those nerves and educate you and really kind of bring everybody back to the basics, ground people, because, we have bull markets are fun, but often euphoric. And one person who brings a euphoric touch to this conversation is my co-host, Eric Cooper.
Matthew, I am always happy to be here, and being my first bear market, you know what? It's good to have education all around me at all the time.
Right. We're building, baby. We're building. And if you missed most of the show, we've been talking with Tyler Campbell, and he is the VP of Concierge at Unchained Capital, who educates individuals and businesses daily on how to secure their Bitcoin wealth with multi-sig wallets. All right. Well, just out of curiosity, here's a question that I've got. Tyler, what is one positive narrative that you think helps Bitcoin adoption, and what is one negative narrative that you think hurts Bitcoin?
For the positive narrative, I do think it is the Bitcoin is for everyone, right? You could be a hardworking mother in India. You could be a New York banker. It's an open protocol, right? It's accessible by anyone. I do think the power of that it really can't be overstated. So I do think the positive narrative is that it's an open network, open for anyone. The negative narrative, I mean, man, negative narratives, pick one out of a hat. Of course, it's Bitcoin mining is bad for the environment. It's too slow. There's a bunch of negative narratives out there. To me, the one that I think hurts Bitcoin, I just truly think it's this narrative of it being too complex, too technologically, I guess, confusing for newcomers. I really don't think that's the case, and I think that drives people away or creates apathy where people just don't have interest. So I would say, that narrative of it being too complicated. So ultimately at Unchained, myself and the concierge team, that's the one we're trying to battle back against.
I really like having well-educated folks give me predictions. So if you had to make any prediction about the future of Bitcoin, what would it be? And it doesn't really have to be the dollar price. It could be anything.
Yeah, I'll stay away from dollar price. Bitcoin's going to do what it does. Eric and Matt, I think we all know that. But my prediction is going to be that all Bitcoin is going to be held by private keys controlled by individuals and sovereign businesses. I think the exchange model, I think the buying Bitcoin and letting it hang out on a given exchange, I think those days are coming to an end. I think we're seeing it right now. If Unchained has anything to say about it, we're going to be putting private keys into the hands of billions of people. So that's my prediction.
Worthy mission. Absolutely. When we're talking about all these things and what you do, but personally, what are some of your goals when it comes to the space? Do you have any goals for the future?
My goals personally, I want those around me, loved ones, friends, family members, to, take Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin, the technical side of Bitcoin, a little bit more seriously. And I've seen it with friends, right? You talk about it with them, they buy a little bit of Bitcoin. A couple months later, they're asking me questions about how do I consolidate my UTXOs. And that might sound like a bunch of, gibberish to other people, but my goal for the space is to educate more folks so the technical side becomes a little bit less daunting. It's from a personal standpoint, that's my main goal. And I do it day in and day out, even on the weekends when I'm not at the Unchained offices.
Well, the UTXO conversation could just be a whole another episode. And I would
totally
love to dive into that with you or somebody from your team sometime in the future. But just to remind people, we've got a couple more minutes here before we got to end the show. But if they want to learn about what you guys do, maybe get plugged into Unchained Capital, and also maybe even follow you, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, of course. Starting off with Twitter, we are on Twitter as a company at Unchained Cap. And then on Twitter myself, I'm at clockwork_prior. I do try to put out some educational threads on Bitcoin technical topics every now and then. Try to do it weekly. If I don't, please feel free to give me a mention and shame me into doing one. But we are on Twitter. We have a heavy Twitter presence, but we have been building out a fantastic content team over the course of the past year. We've published, getting close to about 100 articles on different Bitcoin topics, not just Unchained products, but just Bitcoin topics. So I do recommend checking out the blog at unchained.com as well.
That Twitter handle of yours, was that before Bitcoin or after Bitcoin?
It was before Bitcoin, but I think it ties into how I think about Bitcoin. Clockwork prior just means, when you form an opinion on something, it shouldn't just be that one opinion and that's what you stick with. I do think you should be updating your opinions on things like clockwork. So you need to be adjusting your priors. You learn more about something, maybe you change your understanding of it a little bit.
I love it. And just real quick, did you get plugged into Unchained recently, or have you been with them for some time?
I've been with Unchained since the beginning of June last year, June of 2021. So it's been about maybe 15 months or so for me, a little bit over a year, and it's been absolutely fantastic.
Well, dude, keep killing it. And hey, tell everybody at Unchained Capital that we here are just trying to push the envelope, and you guys are welcome to join us on the radio anytime you wish. In fact, does Austin have a radio show?
Not that I'm aware of, which is hey, Tulsa and Oklahoma might be, beating Austin in that category when it comes to being the Bitcoin capital of the airwaves. So, props there.
Let's make it happen. Well, Tyler, thanks so much for joining us. It was a great conversation. And I just want to remind everybody, if you want to learn more about this show, about myself and how I can help you, go to mattjmoore.com And we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Thanks so much to Tyler Campbell from Unchained Capital. Join us here again next week at 5 p.m. Tulsa time for Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore.